Yiggity yo. What's going on, YouTube? It is Coach Beasley. And this podcast slash YouTube video, I'm just going to update you on a day in the life. What's going on in the life of Coach Beasley? There's been a few changes in my life, and I'll talk about that here with you. This video, before I get started, is sponsored by the BTO Gold app. Okay. If you are ever a player who gets in the gym and you get in the gym, let's say you're doing some form shooting, you get some light shots up, and then you're asking yourself, like, yo, what should I work on? What are some drills that I need to do? That's what the BTO app is for. On the app, we have full workouts there. If there's a certain skill set you want to work on, we have drills for that. It takes the guesswork out of skill development. It's free for the first 30 days. Then after that, it's only $1 a day. All right. So relatively cheap. I mean, it's cheaper than if you were to hire a basketball coach, a private basketball coach, but it's a coach in your pocket. And if you want a more detailed skill development plan, feel free to reach out to me personally. Go ahead and click the link that is in the description below, and I can make you a personal skill development program. All right. So back to our regularly scheduled program. I just want to talk about the recent changes. So as of right now, not sure when you guys are watching this, but right now it is September 5th, 2024. And I'm currently in Sweden. So I just moved to Sweden about 10 days ago, last Sunday. And I'll explain why. So why did I move to Sweden? Well, one of the reasons is 5 years ago, back in 2019, I'm sure you guys can recall in some of the videos I made. I was trying out for some pro teams. During that trip, I made a lot of contacts, met a lot of cool people, met a lot of coaches, and over the years, I've cultivated these relationships to where starting, I believe it was 3 years ago, 2 years ago, back in 2022, I was beginning to get invited to different camps. Shout out to PhD Hoops. I went to Puerto Rico with PhD Hoops to coach the under 18 team against some Puerto Rican teams. Then that same summer, I went to LA for their LA Skills Tour. Met players from all over the U.S. Shout out to PhD Hoops, all my PhD Hoops alumni. And then after that, I went to Sweden for a camp. Um, and that kind of like springboarded my international coaching journey because I realized, like, yo, I can do my passion full time, right? Like I could be in a position where I could be coaching and making money and or playing and making money. So at that time, I was already, back in 22, I was already 29, going on 30. So I'm like, my playing window is limited. If I got, I am from Ohio, so if I got those LeBron genes, maybe I play for another, 7 to 10 years. But that window is undecided, right? It's on God's time and how I'm taking care of my body. So I just decided to stay in shape because I never knew when the opportunity presented itself. Shout out to Coach Omar, because when I met him in 2019, he was already in his late 30s, creeping on 40, and he was doing the same thing. He was coaching some youth teams, and he was playing for a men's team over in the UK. And when I met him in 2019, he was just talking to me about his experience because he's also from Ohio. He coached at the Division II level, then moved over to Europe and kind of started a life there. Um, and just after hearing his experiences and the way of life that it is in Europe, I was like, you know what? I think that's something I want to do. So that was a goal of mine. Um, and with that being said, I think it's very important to keep in mind some of the goals that you have not only require the discipline as far as like working out or the connections, but it also requires financial discipline. Back in 2016, 2017, when I got my first opportunity to play pro, I decided not to stay with it long term because I was broke. I had student loan debt. I didn't have any money in savings. I was living on credit cards. So for me to go over, and I was on like one of those rookie contracts where I was only getting like, it might have been like 600 a month. I only stayed for like a month, but I was getting chump change, 5, 600 a month. And you can make that working at Walmart part time, right? So it's like, is it worth it to, yes, I'm doing my passion, but I'm broke. I'm going to come back to the States with all this debt. And now I got to start all over, meaning like, I can't even say all over because I'm starting below zero as far as my net worth goes. So I really took that time to work on my financial discipline. So as y'all know, 2019 in late August, early September, that's when I moved to Boston, and that's when I really started grinding to like get my finances up. COVID was a blessing for me because my basketball training business started booming even more, started growing. Um, yeah, and I just started grinding with that, paying off debt. I got debt free. I was able to upgrade in a car because I had a car that had 300,000 miles on it. Um, I did make a financially irresponsible decision by buying a new car when I could have bought a used one. Uh, in hindsight, maybe I should have made a different decision, but luckily it's paying out because right now, as I'm here in Sweden, uh, I have somebody renting my car out for me. So my car is actually making me money. Um, and that's a whole nother conversation as far as assets and getting your money to work for you because I started investing. I have my retirement accounts, and now I have a few brokerage accounts, and now I'm investing. So I'm saying all of that to say, like, you might have a goal, and not saying that it's basketball, or you might have a career change that you want to make, and it might not bring you the money that you want. But if you are financially secure and financially stable and financially intelligent, you can do what you love to do and not have to worry about money. And that's the position I'm in here in Sweden, right? Like last year, I was coaching middle school, or sorry, I was teaching seventh grade math at a middle school in Providence. Shout out to PVD Prep. Shout out to JR, who actually got me to look. Rest in peace, JR, my brother in law. But yeah, I was there for a year and I used that time to again perfect my craft as far as coaching, still staying in shape, um, and figure out where am I going to go next. And it all happened like really, really quick. So it wasn't until like maybe August to where I accepted, like literally a few weeks ago, not too long ago, that I was offered a position to coach here in Sweden. Shout out to Coach Noah who kind of like blazed the trailblazed for me because he was here for 2 years and kind of laid the foundation because they had never hired a coach. The level here in Sweden is a lot lower than a lot of parts of the world. So hiring an American coach or even a coach from another country is a pretty foreign concept to them. But they're willing to take a chance on Noah, and they saw the benefits. And because of Noah, he invited me to multiple camps over the last 2 years, to where they were able to see what I can offer, and they gave me an offer. Right? They presented me with an offer to come out here. I won't share exactly in this video how much I'm making and the financial side of it, but it was considerably less than what I was making teaching. However, because I am financially secure, I don't have any debts, I have some assets that are also making me money, along with the job here that's making me money, along with the basketball training business. And again, that's a whole nother bit video on how a lot of people who start their basketball training businesses, it really just becomes another job for them. And it was for me for a very long time, right? Like I'm the one who's getting the clients, I'm the one who's servicing the clients, I'm the one who's marketing to the clients, I'm the one who's creating the website, I'm the one who's doing everything. And then you're just buying yourself another job. Um, but again, through reading, through knowledge, through mentorship, I was able to actually build a business to where I still have students back in the States who are working with my coaches. And now my job is to develop other coaches to go ahead and start their coaching careers, meaning to build their own business. And I know I've gone off in tangents because the goal of this video was to talk about what I'm doing in Sweden. So let's get to that. what I am doing in Sweden, and please comment below if any of those topics that I was talking about you want me to dive further into, because I do think once a week I want to have these talks with you guys, because my journey was not just a straight path from, you hear that, I want to say you hear it a lot, but what's publicized on social media are players who come straight from high school, they're highly recruited, go straight to college, they play their 4 years in college, then they go play overseas because right after college they got to look, then after they stop playing, then they automatically fall into a coaching job and life is great. That wasn't my path. My path was not just straight line like that. My path was a lot of this. It took a lot of soul searching. It took a lot of spiritual growth. It took a lot of maturity, which leads me to, now I'm 32. I'm here in Sweden. My fiance is going to be moving here as well, within a few weeks, end of September, early October. And now I'm coaching professional women's, and I'm playing on the professional men's team here, which is a dope experience for me, so far. So far, again, it's only been 10 days. I've only had a few practices with my ladies. And then with the men's team, we actually have our first scrimmage coming up soon. So, yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm here in Sweden, still training clients uh, virtually out here, still making workout programs for my players back in the States. But that's what life looks like for me. I'm doing what I love to do on a daily basis. Um, I'm not pressed. I use the word pressed for money, meaning like I'm not working so I can survive. I'm working because I love the work that I want to do and I don't want to stop doing this. But again, I got here because there were sacrifices that I made along the way. And if you read my book, Beast Mentality, you know about those sacrifices that, like, I can take y'all back to 2015, when I was interning at a law. It wasn't a law firm; it was a public attorney's, public prosecutor. Um, the city law director was the official position that he had, but he was basically the prosecuting attorney for misdemeanor court. Um, And, it was through that experience that I realized, like, yo, I actually don't want to be in criminal justice. I don't want to be a cop. I eventually wanted to be a probation officer, but I realized I don't want to do that because once people get in the system, they're pretty much stuck in the system. I thought I wanted to be a lawyer. I was going to go to law school. I took all the steps necessary to go to law school. And for me, I was doing it because I wanted to make money. And I'm like, yo, this is a profession where people make money. People make good money. People earn a living here. Um, but I really thought about it like, what do I really enjoy doing? So even after taking the test to get into law school, I got a pretty decent score. I was able to get some scholarships, but I was still going to need to take out student loans. I couldn't afford it. Again, I was broke at the time because I already had loans for my undergraduate, and I made a really hard decision back then. Like, and again, like, we're talking about the sacrifices almost, I mean, this is 8 years ago, 8 years ago, sacrificing, monetary gain for my purpose and what I enjoy doing. If I don't make that decision 8 years ago, I don't get here. you know 8 years ago, if I make the decision to go to law school, I spent 3 or 4 years in law school. Now I have to pass the bar. Let's say I pass the bar. Now I'm grinding as a lawyer for 3 4 years, and who knows, I believe firmly with the way that I enjoy communicating. I believe I could have been a really good lawyer and made really good money. But would I have been fulfilled? Would I have woke up every single day like, you know what, I love my job, I love what I'm doing? I can't say that. But I can say right now, like, I love my job. I love what I'm doing. I'm coaching. I'm around the game that I'm around the game that has taught me a lot about myself, taught me a lot about life. And I'm grateful for that. And so if you want to learn more about how I got to where I am, my life through my time up to Boston and even through Boston, go ahead and click the link in the description to get my book, Beast Mentality. That's just a book about my life. And in that book, I break down in each chapter actionable steps that you can take to find your purpose and live your best life. right? Like it's one thing just to share my story and what I do and how I did it and this is about me. This is about me. No, I'm sharing my story to as evidence that you can decide the life that you want, but it's going to take intentionality and being dedicated to what you want and knowing what you want. So, in that book after every chapter there are actionable steps that I ask you, what is your purpose? What is something you enjoy to do, enjoy doing? Who are some people who can help you? And each chapter is very similarly, or I guess the whole book is very similar to Think and Grow Rich. So that was kind of my inspiration for writing the book because Think and Grow Rich was a book that changed the way that I looked at life and looked at riches and looked at wealth. Because it really starts in the mind first. It really starts on how you see yourself, what you see yourself doing. So again, go ahead and grab that book, Beast Mentality, How to Live Your Best Life. Um, the BTO app, BTO Gold, dollar a day, get your game right. And again, click the link in the description if you're interested in getting a personal workout program with myself. And please comment below any of the topics that I discuss in this video if you want to hear more about. All right, I'm out now. Peace.